Hello and welcome to the Aunty Lisa show. And what shall we do a story about today? Let's see. Okay. Silver bag. Ooh. Jack. Oh, there's not a lot in here. And drill. Okay. And the red bag. All of us. And a Velociraptor. And a T-Rex. What? OMG. Bag of random things. Give me something good. What is it? It's a bat. I do like bats. Yeah, hang on. Bag of places. Where shall we go? The woods. Well, to be fair, bats live in woods, so that works out fine. I'll take that. Hang on. There's one more thing on the floor here that has fallen down. And it's the bag that should have the transport in. Let's see. Fuego stunt truck. Ay. Right. One day, Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer decided to go camping in the woods with their good friend Drill, who, as we know, used to work on the oil rigs but now works for the Coast Guard rescuing people. And also they invited along Jack, because Jack loves an adventure. So, don't know why that came out of my mouth, but anyway. I'm completely mad. Right. So, they packed a bag. Of course they packed a bag. They packed lots of bags because they were going, a very big bag, because they were going camping. So they needed like tents and things like that. And also snacks, obviously, and sausages. Very important, apparently, when you go camping. So they all decided to go to the woods in Fuego stunt truck, because Fuego stunt truck is a super agile bit of kit, and it can drive over all sorts of terrain. So to get them to the most far away bits of woodland, they could go up loads of cool tracks on a Fuego stunt truck. So Jack had borrowed it, and they all climbed in, and they were like and Aunty Lisa was like, slow down, Jack, we're going camping, we're not running away from anything. Feel horrible. Well, eventually they made it to the point of the woods where they could go no further with El Fuego stunt truck. So they had to set off on foot, and they walked into the woods, and it got super dark inside the woods, because however dark it is outside the woods, you will always find that it's darker in the woods on account of the trees. Anyway, so they're walking deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods, and it was starting to get dark, and they decided it would probably be a really good idea to set up camp before there was no light left. Ooh. Wow. They pitched their tents in a little space in the woods that they found that was kind of nice and green and flat, a little secluded spot. and they sat around the campfire and they cooked their sausages and they made marshmallows stuck between 2 biscuits, which is called a s'more. And nobody knows why it's called a s'more unless it's just because you want some more. S'more. I don't know. Anyway, it's marshmallows in biscuits. Pretty scrummy. And they were just congratulating themselves on this extremely scrummy treat when a strange thing happened, which was that a load of bats started circling above them. Now, Aunty Lisa likes bats, but it is always a bit ominous when a load of them get together and start circling above where you're sitting. So everybody was sat round the fire, eating their s'mores, going, so scrummy. And then they looked up and they went, why are those bats circling over us in that slightly strange way? Round and round and round the bats were going. Bats call out, but you can't hear them because their voices are so high-pitched. But turns out Jack owns some special bat detector kit. Who knew? So he got his bat detector kit out, and on it you could hear them clicking because it makes the sound audible to your ears. And they were going crazy. The bats went. And Jack said, whoa, this is bad. I've never heard bats talk so much to each other. The bats are going crazy. Something must have really spooked them. But what could it be? Drill said, well, maybe it's because we're here and it's freaked them out a little bit. And Aunty Lisa said, that's a good point, Drill. Could be us. Maybe we've camped in a really special spot. And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, or, Aunty Lisa, maybe it's that. And everyone looked around. OMG. Everybody stayed perfectly still, because they had just spotted a ginormous, terrifying, bloodthirsty T-Rex. Aunty Lisa said, nobody move. It can't see you if you don't move. Jack said, I thought they just made that up for the film. And Aunty Lisa said, I'm really hoping it's true. And the T-Rex was like, and Drill said, I don't think it's true. I think the T-Rex can smell us. And Aleksander and Kristoffer went, you can definitely smell us. Aunty Lisa, that stinks. And Aunty Lisa said, that wasn't me. We'll never know who made that smell. T-Rex got closer and closer, and everyone now they were too terrified to move, when suddenly the bats did something quite extraordinary. The bats stopped swirling round above their heads and flew down and straight through the T-Rex. And the T-Rex went and vanished. And everyone went, what just happened? And Aunty Lisa said, I don't know, but I think the bats might have just saved our lives. And Jack said, do you think that was a ghost T-Rex? I'm sure some of those bats went straight through it. Do you think it was a ghost? And Aunty Lisa said, I don't know, maybe one's escaped from Jurassic World. Are you sure that the bats went through it? It looked really real to me. Aleksander and Kristoffer agreed it did look really real. I said, well, okay. What do we do now? We're in the middle of the woods, in the dark, at night time, and there's a T-Rex out there somewhere, which may or may not be a ghost. I don't feel like going to sleep. Does anyone else feel like going to sleep? Nobody felt like going to sleep. Everyone was terrified. So, Aleksander said, hey, me and Kristoffer, we are pretty good at climbing, and I can see a really big tree. It's even taller than the T-Rex. What if we climb up in the tree and make a nest in the tree to sleep in like orangutans do? And everyone went, Drill said, I'm pretty good at climbing too, because I used to work on oil rigs. And sometimes we had to climb up them. And they said, okay, I think that's probably our best plan, because we can't start walking through the woods now. It is too dark. We bump into things and we might get gobbled up by that T-Rex. So, what they did was they quickly gathered what they could in the way of food and drinks, and they shot at that tree as quickly as they possibly could. And in the top of the tree, they made themselves a cool nest out of branches and sticks and bits of tent. And they all sat in that treetop nest like a tree house nest. And they're like, oh, I think we're safe up here. We've got to be safe up here, right? We're safe up here, right? And then they heard another noise. And they were like, what's that noise? And it was... And the bats were back. And they went, oh no, I wonder what that means. Well, they were soon to find out. The bats were circling over the top of the tree again. Jack put on his special bat detector thing, and he heard the noises. Click, 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 click. The bats were going crazy again. And everyone went, what is it? Oh, I hope the T-Rex isn't coming back. And then they heard a... And they were like, what is that? Is it a screaming cat? It was not a screaming cat. It was not one, not two, but 3 Velociraptors circling the bottom of the tree. And everyone looked down and went, ah! And Aunty Lisa said, do you think Velociraptors can climb? And everyone went, God, I hope not. And the Velociraptors were trying to climb, and they were jumping up at the tree and scratching it with their crazy scratchy claws. But thank goodness they couldn't climb up it. And then they gave up eventually and went away. It had been a bit intense at this point, so everyone had to have a snack to calm themselves down. Luckily, they still had loads of marshmallows and biscuits, so they ate some marshmallows and biscuits, and they felt a little bit better. And they said, do you know what, you guys? I think we need some help. There is something seriously weird going on in this wood. So, they said, who can we call that might know what's going on? And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, I know, we can call Owen. Owen might know if some T-Rexes or Velociraptors have escaped. At least he blooming well should, because he is in charge of Jurassic World. And if he doesn't know, well, he shouldn't be in charge of Jurassic World. So, they called up Owen. And they were like, beep, 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 beep. Ring, 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 ring. It's a ringing FaceTime call. Normally goes beep, beep, beep. Oh, I don't know what it is. Anyway, they called up Owen. They said, hi, Owen. And Owen went, gee, kind of time do you call this? Oh. What's up, you two? And Aleksander said, well, we're stuck up in a tree, Owen. And Kristoffer said, yeah, there was a T-Rex and 3 Velociraptors, and they wanted to eat us. And Owen went, oh, what now? And they said, a T-Rex and 3 Velociraptors. And Owen said, hang on a minute, let me just check something. Nope. My cameras on Jurassic World show all my T-Rexes and Velociraptors are tucked up in bed asleep. Where on earth have these T-Rexes and Velociraptors come from? Right, so. Okay, you guys. You hang tight and we'll see if we can get you some help, alright? Aleksander and Kristoffer said, yeah, okay, alright. We're going to just call someone else just in case he knows. Okay, bye-bye. Well, it wasn't from Jurassic World. So they called up Andy, because Andy, as we know, has a bad habit of releasing wild prehistoric animals into present day. So they called up Andy. And Andy went, hello, boys. What time is 3 a.m.? Oh, guys, why are you calling me at 3 a.m. in the morning? Where on earth are you? Aleksander and Kristoffer explained the story of why they were stuck up in a tree. And Andy said, oh no, that's terrible. But I haven't let any T-Rexes out or any Velociraptors out from prehistoric times lately. I really can't help you. I don't know what it is. But I will ask around in case anyone else has done any time traveling. Are you guys going to be able to get down out of that tree? And Aleksander and Kristoffer were like, eventually, probably. Yeah, we'll be okay. Owen says he's going to help. Okay, all right, bye-bye. So Andy went back to sleep. Then they started wondering if it was something a bit more spooky. So they called up JB. Because JB is a bit of an expert in all things spooky and ghosty. Which is an adjective, I'm sure. Anyway, ghostly. They called up JB, and JB went, hey, y'all, how you doing? Oh, my gosh, what is the time? Oh, 3:30 in the morning? Oh, why did you call me at 3:30 in the morning? Oh, where's my coffee? Give me some coffee. Ah, here's my coffee. What's wrong, boys? Aleksander and Kristoffer explained the whole thing again about getting up in the tree and they thought maybe it's a ghost. And JB said, let me just check my ghost detecting equipment. Oh my, where did you say you were? Aleksander and Kristoffer said, we are in the deepest, darkest depths of the woods. You know, those woods up on Old Spook Hill. And JB said, why on earth would you go and camp in a place called Spook Hill? And Aleksander and Kristoffer said, good point, JB. We hadn't really thought it through. Any chance of a rescue? And JB said, as it's you, boys, I'll see what I can do. Don't you worry, you hold tight now. Okay. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Well, it would seem they had a ghostly problem. And then they realised that ghostly problem was fast approaching again. The T-Rex was back. And this time, he meant business. Well, they were high up in the tree. The T-Rex was looking around their campsite like... and he was sniffing all the stuff they'd left on the ground. And Aleksander and Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa and everybody went... And they just stayed really still up in their tent. Not in their tent, in their little bed that they'd made at the top of the tree. With Drill and Jack. As quiet as they could be. But the T-Rex did this. When he started bashing the tree with his tiny T-Rex hands. And then he realised that was really ineffective. And he started bashing the tree with his giant T-Rex head. Bush, bush. And then he was like, "Oh, I could use my T-Rex tail." And it, whack, whack. And the tree was like, and then those Velociraptors came back. And they were like, and they were trying to climb the tree. I was still completely useless at climbing, but they were trying. And everyone at the top of the tree was like, hold on tight, you guys. And the bats were going crazy. But this time it wasn't working. They were flying and swirling and swooping. And they were going straight through the T-Rex. Everybody could see it this time. Straight through. This was definitely a ghost. But it was no ordinary ghost. It was the kind of ghost that could bash trees over. And everyone at the top of the tree was like, and the bats were like, and the T-Rex was like, bash! And the Velociraptor was like, and Jack said, right, we've got to try and zap them with our phones. We've got to try. Aleksander and Kristoffer and Jack were like, ready, steady, pew, 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 pew. But they were too far away for it to work. Oh no! It wasn't going to work at all. Drill said, right, what if all of us try? And Aunty Lisa, let's all try together. So they all tried together, pointing their phones all in one direction. Pew, 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 pew. It was no good. The tree starting to break. It was like, and they were like, oh! The T-Rex was like, bash, bash. And the tree was like, and it was gonna fall any minute now. Any minute now. But just then, two wonderful things happened. Owen arrived in a helicopter. And he flung down a ginormous piece of meat onto the floor. The T-Rex looked at it, but then he looked at everyone in the tree, and he went, and bashed the tree still. But the Velociraptors looked at that giant piece of meat and thought, tasty. And they went and ate it. So half of the problem was gone. Not the biggest bit of the problem, but half of the problem. And Owen said, I'll be back with more meat for the T-Rex. And he went to go and get more meat. T-Rex was still bashing. And then the second wonderful thing happened. El Fuego's stunt plane appeared at the distance. El Fuego! Everybody was like this. Oh, no, hold on tight. Waving their arms. El Fuego spotted them. He was with JB. And they didn't just have their mobile phones to zap these prehistoric ghosts. They had their super blaster thing on the front of the stunt plane. And they were like, zoom, zoom. And everyone went, well, quickly, El Fuego, before the tree falls over. And El Fuego and JB aimed that thing at that T-Rex. And they went, pow, 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 pow. And the T-Rex was like, bash. They missed. The tree was like, ugh. It was nearly falling over. The T-Rex was licking his lips, waiting to gobble up small boys and their aunties and their friends. That T-Rex was hungry. But just as Aleksander and Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa and Drill and Jack were about to give up hope and sure they were going to be a T-Rex snack, holding on tight for their lives, the stunt plane came round one more time for a steep swoop. And that zapping ray blaster thing went pow! And the T-Rex went pow! And the Velociraptors went pow! And everyone went and all the bats went and they flew off. The bats went away doing what bats do best, which is probably catching moths. Everyone breathed a huge sigh of relief. And the tree went onto the ground. Thankfully, nobody was hurt because they were all clinging on tight to the branches on the other side of the tree. And they all climbed down onto the ground and went, whew, that was a bit close. A bit close. And Aunty Lisa said, you know what, guys? I'm done camping. let's go home. Well, by that point, the sun was coming up. So, not wanting to litter, they grabbed their stuff and they made their way back to the stunt truck as quickly as they could this time. And they got in that stunt truck and they zoomed through the paths all the way back to JB's lab. And they were like, JB, El Fuego, thank you so much for saving us. We would have been gobbled up by a ghost T-Rex and those Velociraptors. And then Owen arrived and they said, thanks Owen for trying. You distracted the Velociraptors brilliantly with all that meat. And Owen was like, no problem, you guys. And so then they said, hey, let's all have pancakes for breakfast and some of JB's amazing coffee to celebrate nobody getting gobbled up. And so that is what they did. And they had the best breakfast ever. And then everyone went to bed because they were exhausted. And that is the end of the story. Love you. Night night.